sell real estate in the Langley and Fraser Valley area, and I have your market update for February 2022. The first thing I want to say right off the bat is that supply levels increased this month by 75% compared to January of 2022. And I'm actually going to jump in and share my screen with you to show you the supply level patterns throughout the last year to give you a better idea of how important that 75% increase is at this moment. So I've got detached homes typed in here. I've got all of the Fraser Valley real estate board, and I've got active listings. So if we look at April of 2021, so last spring supply levels were at its highest point in the last 2 years, sitting at 2,800 listings on the market. And ever since then, we've been slowly on a decline, and you can see the lowest point of supply level was in December of 2021. So all of 2022 has shown increased levels of supply, which again, we desperately needed. And I do expect that to continue into the spring. And that is going to help cushion the demand, but it is still, below average levels that we're used to. Same thing with apartments. I've got active listings here in the past year. So again, April of 2021 saw its highest point, and it's just been on a constant decline till December, and then it's moved up in the new year. Same thing with townhomes. We can see in April it was at an all-time high, and then it dipped down at its lowest point in December 2021, and we can start to see it shoot up into 2022. To show you guys the median sale prices for Fraser Valley Real Estate Board detached homes, because I do find this interesting. So here's April when we saw supply levels at its highest. And here's the price point is at 1.325 for a detached. Oh God, those were the days. But what's interesting is that as supply continues to drop throughout the year, prices rise, and they rise quite steadily. However, here's December, and that was when the supply level was at its absolute lowest. And then I showed you that in January and February, supply levels did spike up. But what's interesting is that price points have remained to spike up, where you would kind of think, okay, shouldn't they plateau a little bit over here? So that leads me to believe that I don't think the market's cooling in terms of sale prices. I think it's cooling in terms of the amount of demand we're seeing for each home. So before we would see, anywhere between 8 to 20, 30 offers sometimes, depending on what the list price of the home was and how many offers it generated. And now we're seeing way less than that. But the offers that we are seeing are still strong. So as supply continues, I am curious to see where that goes, and how that will affect price points. But as of right now, they're still high. And I can show you that for apartments. It's the same thing. Apartments, again, supply levels spiked in January, February, but look at the price points. They continue to rise. Townhomes, same thing. I hope you guys found that helpful and that it did provide a little bit of insight on what to expect going forward this year. One other interesting factor that happened over the last few days was that on March 2nd, the Bank of Canada announced its rate increase for their overnight lending rate. So we were sitting at 0.25%, and that has now increased to 0.5%. Before you read the news and get all freaked out with the headlines, etc., I'm just going to break it down for you so that you don't panic. You're only going to be affected if you have a variable rate. And for every $100,000 of mortgage you borrow, your payment should go up roughly $12 more a month. Fixed rate holders, you're not affected. Whatever rate you locked into at the time you sign is the rate that carries forward for you. And if you're getting pre-approved, you're also not affected because of the good old Canadian stress test that pre-approves you at 5.25%. or prime plus 2%. But because prime's sitting at 2.7%, you're still going to be pre-approved at the 5.25% and won't be affected by this recent rate increase. The Bank of Canada also has warned us that we should see a few more rate increases throughout 2022. I've been told by my mortgage brokers, because I'm not a mortgage broker, but if you are in a variable rate, you're still better off as opposed to locking into a fixed rate. Fixed rates are getting into the 3+% now. If you guys do want mortgage broker recommendations, I'm more than happy to send you my trusted list, just to bounce some questions off and really evaluate what might be best for you. I want to talk to you guys about months of inventory because, again, I love this measurement tool. It really measures the absorption rate that we're seeing in the market. So just a quick reminder, anything between 4 and 6 months represents a balanced market. Anything under 4 months is a seller's market, and anything above 6 months of inventory is a buyer's market. Detached homes are sitting at 2.1 months of inventory. So all I did was look at the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board. I took the active listings that were in February, divided it by the number of sales. That equated to 2.1, which means that if no new detached homes in all of the Fraser Valley came on the market, we would completely sell out in just over 2 months. Townhomes are sitting at 1.4 months of inventory and condos at 1.48 months of inventory. So all three categories are still in a seller's market. But again, we are seeing supply levels raise, and so we should see that shift towards more of a balanced market. But I think that's going to be a long ways away still. Benchmark pricing, everyone's favorite. So for the Fraser Valley, detached are coming in at $1,670,800. That's an increase of 43.6% in 1 year, which is insane. Please don't expect that to continue at that rate. Sales to active listing ratio is 46%. So again, if I had 100 homes on the market in February, 46 of those would have sold, and the average time it's taking for a detached home to sell in the valley is 13 days. Townhomes have an average benchmark of $840,900. That's an increase of 40.1% in 1 year. The sales to active ratio for townhomes 69%, and the average time it's taking a townhome to sell in the valley is 11 days. Condos are sitting at $614,800. That's an increase of 36.3% in 1 year, and the sales to active listing ratio for condos is 67%. As mentioned, if you guys want specific information about your specific property, you can reach out below. I've got a link there where you can book a private appointment with me. All these are benchmarks and averages, so it won't necessarily reflect the true value of your specific home, but I hope it does give you some insight on what it may be worth. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Just a reminder, if you are enjoying my content, please hit subscribe so I can help get my information out to more people just like you, and I will talk to you guys soon.